3 reasons why you should worry about the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was created in response to the Panic of 1907, the first worldwide financial crisis of the 20th century. President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into law in 1913. Wilson hoped this central banking system would lessen financial crises by providing America with a safer, more flexible, and more stable monetary and financial system. So, why worry about it? Reason 1. No accountability. Considered the most powerful financial institution in the world, the Federal Reserve is independent of the U.S. government. Its policies do not need to be approved by Congress or the President. Since the Fed doesn't need to get permission from elected officials for anything it does, it answers to no one. A lack of accountability brings up the question of whether the central bank has a sense of responsibility to act in the best interest of the American people.
Our long-standing policy is to treat foreign banks as we treat domestic banks.
Reason 2. No transparency. The Federal Reserve is essentially privately owned by banks and not an actual government-run federal agency. The Federal Reserve sets monetary policy, supervises and regulates banks, and provides payment services. It can print money and change our economy, but doesn't get audited and receives little oversight from Congress. Its decisions are subject to no authority outside of itself. History teaches that when a centralized power can operate in secrecy, it usually winds up as bad news for the people. Reason 3. It allows big risks. Despite the idea that the Fed should stabilize the economy and prevent disasters, it has not stopped booms and busts in the financial system.
The only thing we have to fear is
including massive ones like the Great Depression.
fear itself.
The centralized banking system serves as a debt machine by printing money and selling more government bonds to get out of problems. It enables banks to make bad investments and risky decisions, then bails these banks out when they fail with taxpayers' money. In Article 1, Section 8, the U.S. Constitution states that Congress shall have the power to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. So, why do we have the banks doing it? The Constitution also calls for our money to be backed by tangible assets, such as gold and silver. But instead, we have a centralized power printing money on nothing but a promise. The Federal Reserve is a privatized, centralized power that dramatically changes our economy and lives. Yet none of us can get a good look at what they do, how they do it, or have any input. LibertyNation, GenZ.com. It's your future.